Now we got to mount the coolant sensor. The computer uses that coolant sensor also to know kind of what to do with the fuel mixture. So it knows if you get up in the morning and you crank it, it's cold, it knows to, you know, let's idle it up a little higher. We're fixing to start leaking antifreeze though. Maybe if I can get this camera to sit still and keep all this on. But I got the other sensor here is ready to go. So maybe I could do this without making a huge mess. Alright. I believe we got it. Lost about a cup of water. I think that's not bad. Sensor's already got thread sealer on it. All we gotta do is tighten it up. This kit from Howell came with all of this. Came with a new coolant sensor. But this particular model didn't have a coolant sensor on the block, but it had the plug. So we just take it out and plug it in right there. I think that's good. I think we're there. Of course, we'll check it once we get everything together and running. We'll put some pressure on it and make sure we don't have any leaks. Should be good. But I bring this to your attention when you're doing this. It's kind of important. You're looking at the throttle body here. The instructions will call this the driver's side, this the passenger side. Makes sense. The supply from the pump goes on this side, over here on the driver's side. That's the inlet. Goes in there through this regulator. It regulates the pressure, and then the return comes out the passenger side fitting. Don't get those reversed, because if you put pressure on the outlet side of this throttle body, of this regulator, probably do some damage on the inside. Might push some diaphragms out of the way or move some springs around. But pretty important that you get that right. Supply comes in on the driver's side. We're going to tighten those up and that'll be done. Now we're doing the map sensor. A little bit of assembly required. Came with this. Here's the map sensor. There's not really any clear instructions in this kit, but the way I figure it, they kind of snap on like that. And you push the other one on over here, kind of hold. So now we end up with a mounting bracket for the map sensor. The screw here. Put your two screws in it. Self-tapping screws is what I used. You also notice it's not level here, not flush. I'm afraid if I tighten it down like that, I'm either going to break the map sensor or break these brackets. So what I've decided is I'm going to put two flat washers between each bracket and the firewall, and that gets it somewhat flush. See, that'll take up some of that space. Now, I've already got I already drilled the holes. I've already drilled the holes. That's where we're going to mount it. It's right there on the firewall. Gonna need 3 hands to do this part. And that's without trying to hold the camera. See how it mounts up, sort of. I wouldn't use power tools right here because it's pretty flimsy sheet metal that we're threading into. And I know some of you are saying, well, when they do it on TV, their hands don't get that dirty. Now, folks, that's TV. And this doesn't have to be very tight. That's it. Seems to mount pretty solid. Can't find any instructions in the kit that says how to do that, but my idea seems to work pretty good. The vacuum line comes off the bottom of it, goes to manifold vacuum. You want that on manifold vacuum. MAP, it's the MAP sensor. It stands for manifold absolute pressure. So the computer needs to know that. Vacuum drops, the throttle position sensor says that the throttle's open. The computer will assume that there's a load and it will adjust the fuel injection accordingly. So we got to have that. But that's how you mount the MAP sensor, or that's how I'm mounting it anyway. Seems to work. All right, we're doing the wiring now. They've got it labeled for you pretty good. It goes to our MAP sensor that we so professionally mounted. We got them labeled here, everything. It's throttle position sensors, idle air control, O2 sensor. These go to your fuel injectors. This is a throttle body off of a 4.3 liter V6 Chevrolet engine. Push that piece in there. There. Just like on a little Chevy S10 or a little S10 Blazer. Anything with a 4.3 liter V6, that's the throttle body. So if you ever need parts, you order it for a whatever pre-95 Chevy throttle body injected engine. We'll connect O2 sensors. We'll come back in a minute and do that. And our coolant sensor that we plugged on, mounted under there, that goes down to it. Now I had to create a hole. We've got a blob of stuff that goes up front. The biggest being this little fuse block. Now I took the fuses out so it would fit. But this Jeep it already had 2 holes right there with a divider between them. So I just cut the divider out. This kit came with a grommet. So we can kind of try to feed that in there. I'm probably going to have to get inside and see kind of where to pull it. That's got to go up front. These are the connectors for the ECU, electronic control unit, or module, whatever you want to call it. These have to go up there too. And there's an OBD1 connector. OBD1. That is not a character in Star Wars. That would be Obi-Wan Kenobi. But OBD1 connector, they call it a ALDL, diagnostic link. I call it OBD1. Anything. Pre-Vortec Chevrolet, that's what I call it, where it switches to OBD2. Any scanner will hook up to this. It's even got these wires go to a check engine light, service engine soon light. I hadn't read far enough in advance to exactly see what all's involved with that, but obviously there's going to be one, or I'll make one. We'll do something. And that's kind of where we stand. The fuel pump relay, fuel pump fuse, just like on a 91 or 92, 93 Chevy pickup. It's going to be right up on the firewall. Relay will be right beside it. Got some ground wires to hook up. So I'm fixing to do all that. Got a power. This goes directly to the battery, or to something hot all the time. We're going to have a TAC connector. We'll see whether we use that or not. And this goes to the starter solenoid. So I'm going to put the camera down, get all this hooked up, and we'll turn it back on when I see I'm doing something that I need to show you. It's going to work though. It's going to work.